Hi everyone, Joe Ordia here for Solar Surge, and today we're coming back to you from Enphase headquarters in Fremont, California. And this afternoon I'm joined by Ashray, Senior Systems Engineer at Enphase, and we're going to be looking at the brand new Enphase IQ EV Charger. So Ashray, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Joe, good afternoon. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to talk about our latest product, which is the IQ EV Charger. It's a smart level 2 EV charger that integrates and leverages with our Enphase IQ system and seamlessly integrates with our solar, our batteries, and helps you achieve your charging goals.
Great. Well, I know this is something that we've had a lot of interest in, and a lot of interest in just kind of how all of this works. Now, of course, we heard the news that Enphase acquired an EV charger company last year, I believe, and we knew this product was coming. We just didn't know exactly when and what it would look like. Yeah. So I guess if we could just kind of take it from the top. I see we've got the Enphase branding here. We've got what looks like a standard 50 amp plug. And then we've got the EV charger plug. But for those that maybe aren't familiar with the product, can you just kind of take us from the top? What are we looking at here? Yeah. And how are the basics of how it works? And how does it tie in with the rest of the IQ system?
Okay, sure. So, so this is our level 2 IQ EV charger product. We have 8 SKUs. It comes in a combination of 1450, 850, and hardwired version. What we are looking right now is a plug-in version. That goes on the wall. What we also have on the output is a 25 feet ruggedized cable. This is what connects to your electric vehicle. This is the ubiquitous J1772 plug that works across the board with all your EVs. One thing I want to highlight is the IQ EV charger is connected over Wi-Fi. That means that it wirelessly transmits information about the system and integrates within our Enphase system.
Okay, so a couple of questions come to mind. First off, so the way you have it pictured here, this looks like a standard 50 amp outlet, right? 30 or 50?
This is a 50.
Okay,
yeah.
So standard 50 amp outlet. Now, can this be wired just off any circuit breaker in the home, or is there a dedicated EV charger outlet on the system controller?
Yeah, so that's a good question. The answer is it depends. So if you're integrating the IQ EV charger as a standalone product, then this would go on your mains panel. But if you decide to integrate the IQ EV charger as an integrated solution within our Enphase ecosystem, then you have the option to either connect it as a backed up load or as a non-backed up load. So we provide the ability for you to use your EV charger not only in an on-grid scenario, but also during an off-grid situation. So if you're a homeowner and you decide, hey, I want to treat this as a heavy load, I don't want this to come on when I go off-grid, we provide the ability to shut it off through a load controller as it integrates into the system controller. So that way, once there's a grid transition, your EVSE shuts off and you have a microgrid that runs on your critical loads. But you also have the ability to have this as a backed up load, in which case you tie this in to the system controller through an IQ load controller, which is our offering to manage heavy loads, especially during grid transitions and off-grid scenarios. So there are 2 ways you can connect it, depending on whether you want it backed up or non-backed up.
Okay, great. Well, I know some people are out there. I mean, a lot of times if you're in an emergency situation, you may not want to use your home battery to power your electric vehicle charger. Now, I know that there's bidirectional charging, which is a whole nother category we might talk about. Maybe you do want to have that connected. Yeah. But I guess I'm more thinking about a scenario where, like, let's say right now, California, certain hours of the day, you have to pay a very high tariff depending on when you're consuming. Yeah. So you may want to set your system up that maybe you only want to charge your vehicle when the sun is shining, when you have solar. You don't really want to pull from the grid, or especially during certain hours, you don't want to pull from the grid to charge your vehicle. How does the system work with that? Is that something that you can configure as an owner?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. In fact, the way that the EV charger integrates and leverages the Enphase system to minimize peak charges, for example, is one of the features that we're really excited about. So to give you an example, one of the modes that we have as part of the EV charger is called the savings mode. So when you enable the savings mode as part of your system and also part of your EV charger, the system recognizes when you have peak charges and it disables the EV charger and does not charge during that time. So that way you can prevent peak charges when the rates are high. But it also gives the ability to the user to set their own custom or top-up schedules. So in the event that you want to top up and add a custom schedule, you can do that. So that's what we have as a savings mode. We also have another mode called self-consumption mode, which leverages some of the things that you were talking about, which is the excess solar and excess battery. So enabling this mode for the EV charger means that it calculates how much excess PV and how much excess battery we have after it takes into all the home loads, and it produces that energy for the EV charger. So that way you're self-consumed, self-sufficient as much as possible, and you minimize the draw from the grid.
Excellent, and I think that's part of what we can kind of simulate here in the laboratory, or at least I'm hoping to see. So right now we're in the Enphase laboratory here. This is where they test out a number of the different system configurations, going back from even the old M series microinverters to the new IQ 8 series and the new batteries. So I believe what we're going to simulate now is if we have solar and the IQ charger integrated, how we can sort of intelligently control the EV charger. For example, charge only from solar, not from the grid, or what have you. Yeah. So I guess, let's take a look at how it works. Just a quick word from our sponsor, Savant Power, and the Savant Energy Management System. If you're considering an investment in a solar plus storage system, then you're going to want to have maximum visibility and control of how much energy you're harvesting, how much energy you're storing, and how that energy is being distributed within the home. The new Savant Power system allows you to dynamically control which circuits are on and which circuits are off depending on battery state of charge, allowing you to extend your battery running time during a blackout. The system also includes an integrated electric vehicle charger, allowing you to charge directly from solar or from the grid, or a combination of both. So if you'd like to learn more information, you can visit the Savant Power website or click the link in the description below so that you can get in touch with an installer right away. Okay, Ashray, so we're going to actually take a look at how the EV charger works in operation here. Before we plug up, what are we looking at here on the app?
So we're looking at the Enphase app, and what you're seeing is the status screen, and at the bottom you can see the EV charger. So what we're going to demonstrate now is how well the EV charger integrates with our Enphase system, leverages solar, batteries, not charged from the grid when there's peak. So we'll do a few demos and showcase that on the app.
Okay, so when you plug in the EV, what would we expect to see right at first?
So as soon as I plug in the EV, the status will change at the bottom, and you'll see the EV starts charging immediately. So right now I don't have any modes on. So as soon as I plug it in, it should start charging, and then we'll get into the different modes.
Okay, great. Let's give it a shot.
All right, so as you can see, this is our EV charger in the lab, and it's showing that it's currently charging. And there's some more details to the end user here. It tells you what time it was plugged in, how much energy it got during this charge session, and how many miles were added. Okay, so let's talk about some of the key features of the EV charger. So I briefly mentioned earlier a key feature called profiles, right? We talked about reducing charges from the grid. We talked about better leveraging our solar and battery systems. And we do that through profiles within our Enphase system. And these profiles also apply to our EV charger. So right now we have our EV charger that's charging. It also turns out it's peak time right now. So let's look at what happens when you enable the savings mode for your EV charger. So it's currently disabled. I'm enabling it. It's enabled. And then you can see it stopped charging. And it stopped charging because right now it's peak time. It's past 3, and the tariff that I've selected right now is peak tariff. So the system automatically recognized this, and it shut off the EV so that you're not incurring peak charges.
Right, and I think this is something that we're going to see more and more now in California as the tariffs become more onerous during these on-peak hours. People want to charge their electric vehicles at home, but they want to do it really only during the times when either they can use their own solar or they can do it on off-peak hours, so that they don't have to pay any kind of a penalty rate. Okay, so what would be the next mode that we could see?
Yeah, so let's go to the next mode, which is the self-consumption mode. Here our goal is to minimize our utilization from the grid. So with this self-consumption mode, the system leverages a forecasting and a real-time optimization engine and helps you best utilize your excess PV and your battery. So let me activate it right now. So as it's activating, what the engine does is it computes a schedule for the EV charger, and it sends you how much energy is available or how much power is available. And it does that intelligently. It does that through increments of 25, 50, 75, or 100%. So let's say you have excess PV that equates to 25% of your EV charger capability. It sends a command, it enables the EV charger to charge at 25%. So it looks like the self-consumption profile was enabled. So now let's go to live status. So now you can see that at the bottom, you can see that the EV is charging at about 3.9 kilowatts, right? And at the top, you can see our solar. It's producing about 5.3 kilowatts. And it turns out that all our loads combined is still less than the available solar. So all the solar is feeding our loads and our EV charger, and then whatever is remaining is being exported back to the grid. So in this profile, we don't draw anything from the grid and leverage whatever we have, whether it's the solar or the battery. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump up the loads and show that even the battery starts feeding our home and our battery EV charger. So as we're bumping up the home load, so imagine somebody in the home is turning on their appliances, their ACs, and they're still in self-consumption mode. They want to minimize the amount of draw from the grid. So we now expect our IQ batteries to kick in and start powering our loads. So with the self-consumption enabled, you can see now that all the home loads, after they're bumped up, and the EV charger is now powered solely from our batteries and the solar panel, reducing your consumption from the grid.
Okay, great. Now, of course, at some point, the home battery could drain out. We don't want to draw it all the way down completely. So once we get to the point where maybe the battery is discharged, what does it cut? Does it cut off automatically, or does it? What was it? 20%, 10%?
Yeah. So it does have a threshold point after which it cuts off, and this threshold point is something that you can customize as well.
Yeah. Okay, great. So then let's say we get to the point we've been running in this self-consumption mode, but let's say the home battery has discharged as low as we want to allow it to discharge. Then how would we see it switch back?
So at that point, your EVSE will automatically shut off. It'll get a command from the cloud to shut off and stop discharging from the battery. So let me.
Okay, because right now what we have is we have the EV charger is pulling. Okay.
Yeah.
So right now we have the EV charging pulling almost 2 kilowatts, and then the home loads, simulated home loads, are pulling 8.5 kilowatts.
It's 8.5 kilowatts includes the EV charger, so it's about 7 kilowatts. Yeah. So the battery is pretty high, so it's going to take a while for it to get our threshold. I think we are set it to about 20% or so. But let me quickly demo the next mode.
Yeah, let's do
So let me go back to the profiles here, and we'll go to the next one, which is full backup. So when you think about full backup, really the goal is, from an IQ system standpoint, is to get your IQ batteries fully charged so you're ready for an outage. And we follow something similar for the IQ EV charger as well. What we do is we leverage excess PV to charge the EV and make sure it's ready to go when there's an outage. And so in this case, when I activate it, instead of both PV and the battery, it only uses the excess PV that's available and tries to top up the EV charger.
Okay, so let's take a look at that here.
It looks like it's a little slow.
Okay, well, while we're letting the system catch up here, so, you know, as the whole energy sort of policy and rates change, we are going to see people using their home batteries or maybe even their electric vehicle batteries on a more routine basis to try to optimize or smooth out the curve of when and how they're pulling power from the electric grid. But of course, there still is that traditional use of the battery, which is provide backup power during a blackout. And so in anticipation of a blackout, you know, you may want to force the battery to recharge itself so that you're not mid-cycle in one of these self-consumption cycles. You may say, look, hey, I know there's a storm coming in tomorrow or there's a storm coming in this weekend. I want my battery to charge up now so that I know that I'm at 100% full charge, ready to go if there is some kind of an incident.
Yeah. And that's exactly why we have the full backup, which is the goal is to make sure that not only your Enphase batteries, IQ batteries are charged, but also your EV charger is topped up with the PV. So let me see here if we had any success with the profiles. Okay, so it looks like full backup has been enabled. So let me now go back. Okay, so now you can see the configuration, the profile has changed to full backup. Now our goal is to get the batteries charged. So you can see that we have reversed it. We went from discharging in self-consumption mode to charging in full backup. Again, we want to be ready for that outage. And we are using whatever solar we have to power the EV charger. So right now it's not charging. So this likely means that we don't have excess PV. So whatever excess PV whatever PV that's being generated is used by the home loads. So we could try to reduce the home loads, and then you can see that the EV charger will start picking up. So let's give it a few minutes. So the engine in the cloud is constantly looking at what's my total home consumption, what's my total PV production, and do I have enough to spare for the EV, or do I have to first feed my home loads? So that's what's happening here. And in full backup, the goal is really to charge the batteries and make sure you're ready for the outage. So this will take about 5 to 10 minutes for the engine to recognize, oh, there's a dip in the load. I think I have more energy now, so let me now feed it to the EV.
Last question that I have, I noticed on the screen where you set the profiles, now there was a storm, was it Storm Guard?
Storm Guard, yeah.
Storm Guard.
Yeah.
And so my understanding is Storm Guard is it's kind of like what I was just explaining, where you know that there's a storm coming, or if the system detects that there's a storm coming, can it force to full backup itself?
Absolutely, that's exactly right. So if you select the Storm Guard feature, whenever there's a storm warning, it'll automatically override whatever profile you have and starts charging your battery to make sure it's ready to go.
Great. Well, folks, this has been a walkthrough of the Enphase IQ EV Charger. Again, these are not one-off products anymore. This is the IQ platform. This is the IQ system. It's software, it's hardware, and it's designed to help you to have more control, but intelligent control of how energy is being used and flowing within your home. So Ashray, thank you so much for walking us through these different operating modes. Is there anything else that the audience should know about the EV Charger?
I think just to sum up, the IQ EV Charger, a connected solution, really works well and leverages your solar and batteries. So whether you want to charge during off-peak hours, or do you want to charge during your solar or your battery, I think this is a great product that will help reach your goals. Great.
Well, folks, we'll continue to cover this product for you and let you know more as we can as the product reaches its release date. But that pretty much does it for today's video. It's been a behind-the-scenes look at the new Enphase IQ EV Charger. Folks, as always, thank you for spending some time with Solar Surge. And I'm Joe Ordia here, encouraging you to get prepared and be empowered. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. All right, I hope you're getting some great value from today's video content. Now, if you would like to have your product or your business or technology featured on the Solar Surge channel, feel free to reach out to us at the link below so you can set up a call with our media team to talk about your marketing goals and how Solar Surge can help you get there. Solar Surge is the leading online community in the U.S. residential solar and energy storage space. And so if you'd like to get your product, business, or technology in front of our audience, we can help you do that. Again, feel free to reach out to our media team at the link below or email media@solarsurge.net.